because it lets you know that you need to be aware of like the people that you around at all times, and like for people that have kids, especially watch who they are around, even if it's family members, because the guy that did it was the girl's paternal uncle. And they found out that it was 3 other little girls that he was doing it with, and he actually posted the video with the other girl, and she was deaf, so she was like signing to him and stuff in the video. And he turned himself in yesterday morning. And his wife tried to protect him, saying like she didn't know where he was and stuff. So it's kind of weird that she would protect him, and he was a pedophile. Like that's nasty. But yeah, I don't want to go into details of the video and stuff because it's very disturbing. But yeah, that's what it was about. So yeah, watch your surroundings and stuff like that, because you never know who you're around.
Right, and you know it's not uncommon for family members to be involved in both child pornography and sexual abuse.
Yeah, and it was mentioned. They mentioned that it was like an older girl. When she was younger, she actually came out and like identified herself as one of his victims, and saying that she told it was her mom's boyfriend at the time when she was with her, and her mom didn't believe her at the time. So she like happy now that she's getting justice and all the other girls too. So
wow.
Yeah.
So was there anyone else that they say was involved?
No, it was just him and 3 other girls, and then the one girl that came out, but she was way older. The little girl in the video was only 6. And it was rumors around social media saying that she actually killed herself when she found out that that the video was going around Facebook. So a 6-year-old did this. So
wow.
Yeah, that was deep.
So was he charged by the state of California, or?
It was in Alabama.
Oh, in Alabama.
But he's getting charged in Alabama, Michigan, because basically he started off in one state and then he'll move. He spread it across 2 states. So Alabama, Montgomery, and Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, so is he being charged in federal court?
Oh, my bad. My volume on my phone is up.
Because normally in the internet, and especially if he's traveling from state to state, he at least could be charged in federal court.
Yeah, I believe so. I was listening to the news, the live news that they had reported, and I believe so. They just trying to get as many, like, they think it's more girls, so the whole news was about trying to get more people to speak out, even if it happened years ago. But it doesn't say in this on this. I'm on the Washington Post, and it doesn't say where he's getting charged at.
Who was he arrested by?
Alabama police.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his wife was charged also for hindering. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all they give us right now. And his bond is $100,000 as of right now.
Yeah, it'll probably go up.
Yeah. And then, of course, like the people, it went viral, so that means people shared it. So the people that shared the video and accepted the video is also getting charged. So they're making this a big case.
Right. Okay, now, did you all know that?
Wait.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So, for example, I think you were going to mention this, but like, let's say for all of the people that, all right, so the video went viral, the pornography, I guess, went viral. So would all those people, like, they all get charged? Like, let's say it was 100,000 people that shared it, all of those people will get charged? Yeah,
that's what they're saying, that everyone is getting charged. They technology is big, so it's easy to find all those people that shared it, and all those people is going to get charged.
Yeah. Well, they may not be charged, but they can be charged.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the potentially 100,000 people could be charged.
Yep. They're gonna try at least.
Yeah.
Professor, what's your standpoint on that? Like, do you agree with that, or because
Well,
I feel like there's some people that might have shared it, like, oh well, this is really disturbing. Like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Technically, they are sharing pornography.
yeah, that is, but that's sharing. So if they're just, no, go ahead. Who was Bree?
No, that wasn't me.
Oh, who was that?
Ariana, me.
Oh, Ariana, go ahead.
But the thing is that it doesn't matter if just because they're shared and it's kind of fun and they find it disturbing. The thing is that they're sharing something that a minor was involved in.
Mm-hmm.
That shouldn't even be shared in the first place. That should have been reported. Nobody should be having business to reporting and like sharing things that, first of all, I get it, pornography. Everybody watches that, I guess so. But a minor, that's not even right in the first of all. That's illegal.
Yeah, and she was forced.
Exactly. So why should that even be shared? That should be reported
Automatically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the way the authorities are going to look. If you have it and you share it, and instead of reporting it, they're going to consider you. Now, if somebody sent it to you,
yeah,
they look at this and you immediately reported it, they're not going to get you. But if somebody sent it to you and it's still on your computer when they serve a warrant and they have this image on your computer or video on your computer, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, they told everyone that got the video sent to them to delete it and don't open it. And the people that do have it, they told them to delete it or they will be arrested or could be arrested.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is, I don't know how old you all are, and I don't know how old you have been since you've had a phone, but if you have pictures of your boyfriend or girlfriend or somebody at school or whatever who is under the age of 18 and is considered child pornography, you don't consider it pornography. You just like, oh, that's my girlfriend or that's my boyfriend. And they're looking a certain, they're undressed. Or you and them are doing something. You can be prosecuted for child pornography, even if you're 16 or 17. So,
I've heard about that, actually.
Yeah. So you think it's, oh yeah, that's my girl. And no, she's 17, she's 16, she's 15. Especially if she's younger and you're engaged in some kind of activity, that can be a problem for you. You could be arrested. You could be charged with child pornography. And I know because I see it in court. And my colleagues, I've never done one, but my colleagues have been have represented people who, because they have naked pictures of their girlfriend, boyfriend under the age of 18, they get charged with child pornography. So
doesn't that also include if like the parents find it, if they want to like press charges? That's how the whole thing goes about.
Well, that's what usually happens. But what usually happens is people start sending the picture around, and then a parent or some other person or someone gets mad. Like the person whose picture is being passed around gets mad. They gave it to their boyfriend. The boyfriend gets mad. He starts sending it around, and then everybody in school got it, and then they report it. Then they could be charged with distributing child pornography if she's under 18, and don't have sex like you have and don't video and don't keep it on your phone because there's you have to look at the age of consent, and if your significant other is under the age of consent, then you could be charged with statutory rape, no matter, because under a certain age, you cannot give consent. And I know it's very common. It's been common for eons where young people have sex. So, but the law is the law, and should they choose to enforce it, you may be having to register as a sex offender the rest of your life for making
I know someone like that actually. Like, he kind of he was going out with a girl that was like 16. I think he was 18, and yeah, his mom went to the police, reported him, and now he's now a sex offender. You know, even though he didn't do like any like nothing like you know, like where he was doing like with a like little girl, but he's now reported as a sex offender, even if the girl didn't want to press charges.
Right, and she probably didn't. But
the mom did.
Yeah, but the mom did, and it doesn't matter who did. Could be a teacher, could be a neighbor, could be a jealous somebody. Doesn't matter. If you get caught up, then you get caught up and having to register for a sex offender the rest of your life. So yeah, that's kind of important. Kind of important for you to know that they have like I have to take a sexual misconduct training before the 26th or something. I might do that today, but if I think you all have to also. So make sure you do that, and if you know, because you don't, you know, the laws change. If you think you know it, you know, but you know, watch it, take the training, pay attention. It might save you some grief in the future.
Yeah, it's really useful. I have to do it because I work on campus, but yeah, it gives you like a lot of things even within your relationship that you're in when y'all both legal. There's still some things that you can go to jail for that you would never think you could be you could go to jail for because you're with that person.
Right.
You thought it was consent.
Yeah. Like a sleeping person cannot give consent. A person who like certain who below a certain IQ, mental retardation, if not just young, but young in the mind, and they're incompetent. They're medically they're in a coma or something, and people do this all the time. They take advantage sexually, and then you know people suffer, and then when they wind up getting caught and spending decades in prison and having to register as a sex offender for their life. All that is unnecessary. Behave yourselves. Okay, anybody else with a story? Nobody else with a story? Okay. How many stories do we have? Erica did one. Bree did one.
One more.
I have one. If you want me to share.
Who's that?
Ariana.
Okay, go ahead.
I got from KTLA 5 News. It's the chaos that erupted at the emergency.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your mic is really low.
Is it better now?
Not much, but go ahead.
Okay, so the one that I got was from KTLA. It's about the chaos that had erupted at the emergency community meeting called for by the deputies in LA. So everybody, I guess, there was like a meeting around the whole.
Okay, I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I think some people still got their mics on.
Yeah, if you have your mic on, let me see. Somebody's moving around. Oh, whoever's at 323-743. So I'm gonna mute. Uh-oh. Okay, now try again.
Okay, so there was a meeting. There was like a chaos that had erupted in the emergency community meeting that was called for the quell. I think that's called attention after the teenager was killed.
Eric, you gotta turn your mic off. That's yours.
Okay, try again. It's like you're far from your computer mic or something. Because I can still barely hear you.
There's like people with wind. I don't know. There's like people with their mics on. It's like kind of windy.
Yeah, Pinky. Go ahead, try it again.
Okay, so this story is about the deputies who shot and killed Anthony Weber.
Oh, yeah.
During the chase, and I guess there was like a chaos that had erupted during like the meeting.
Yes.
There was a crisis meeting that caused tension with the law enforcement, and it says that John Weber, the teenager's father, brought an enlarged cell phone photograph of his son lying on the ground. So everybody just started yelling at the deputy police. They said that John Weber was dealing with the members of the sheriff's Civilian Oversight Commission, the town hall yesterday at night, and they were saying how they said he had shot. They spotted a gun, but there was no gun ever found in the scene. And then there was like controversy also saying that someone took the gun away and made it seem like, oh, he had the gun, but someone just took it. So they were saying that he was gang affiliated, but some people that knew him knew that he wasn't gang associated.
Yeah, and what was the disturbance about?
The disturbance about, I guess, it all started when it's not really saying what was the disturbance. It was just about that when the dad, I guess, he brought the photograph, it just started more chaos.
Okay, there's a community activist. Oh, so I'm getting feedback now. Hold on. Let me try it again. There's a community activist named Najee Ali, and he works for the city. He's supposed to be a community activist. A lot of people consider him what's termed a sellout. He has an organization called Project Islamic Hope. He says that he's on the side of the people. A lot of people do not consider him on the side of the people. He's very rude to women, and has been in verbal and physical altercations in the community. Last night, he was speaking, and someone came from the audience and took the microphone away from him and called him names, called him out, and then somebody else came, put the microphone even further from him, and he just stood there, and chaos erupted basically over Najee Ali and the fact they said that this young man had a gun and then produced a gun. So this is another life loss in the community, after so many instances of this, was not happy. So yeah, very important story, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing about that story and others, because that's an ongoing problem in Los Angeles City, Los Angeles County, and of course this leads to rebellion in the streets. It happened in 1965. It happened in 1968 and 1992. The rebellion in Los Angeles after the verdict in Rodney King, and for both the beating, the acquittal of the officers who beat him, and for the store merchant Sunja Du, who killed 15-year-old Latasha Harlins, shot her in the back of the head, and she received no jail time for that killing. That is a very important story in terms of this class, because usually what happens is, they pass laws, they prosecute people, they don't prosecute them well, people go off, attack stores and institutions of government, and people get caught up in the court. They get caught up in the legislature, and they get caught up in the executive, because the police are at the center of Very good. Okay, so did everybody sign in? Anybody have anything else to say? Oh, I know. I have a news story.
How do we sign in?
You see the chat?
Yep.
Put your name.
Jonathan.
Okay. Now this is a story. I don't know how many can relate to it. If you drive, you should be able to relate to it.
Joelle's here.
Who?
Joelle Matthews.
Okay. You have to sign in. So sign in. If you don't sign in on the chat, if you're on a phone, then sign in on the what do you call it? In the messaging or the inbox on the Canvas page. But there, one thing Los Angeles is known for is traffic congestion. And Los Angeles has been found to be have the most traffic congestion in the world. I don't have it in front of me. I think it's for the 4th year in a row. The city of Los Angeles has had the most traffic congestion. So, again, that involves, what's the solution? And the solution is going to come out of Congress. It's going to come out of, local government, state government, the federal government, the 6th year. So Los Angeles, the most congested for the 6th year in a row. And, the freeways are old and they're not designed. Los Angeles doesn't have a great rail system. At this point, they've spent billions of dollars on trying to catch up with other parts of the world, other parts of the country with a rail system, but they don't have it yet. They've tried to change the freeways, widen the freeways, put double deckers. It hasn't done much good. But that's one of the many reasons I take the bus and the subway to Cal State Northridge from South Los Angeles, because I don't feel like dealing with that traffic.
You take the 110, right?
Sometimes, but I take the.
You take the 405.
Oh, you're talking about the freeway? No, I catch the bus. I catch the 209 to the 757 to the red line to the
orange
line to the 744.
Yeah.
With my bike.
On the 110, there's this system called Fast Track.
Right.
Like that's used then, because like the 110 really gets congested in the morning. Like you're just gonna take, like, if you're coming like from downtown to like let's say like Compton, it's gonna take about 40 minutes, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Almost. Sometimes, but you feel like services like Fast Track, where they charge you to get into carpool, or might be like the problem, because I used to remember that before I used to kind of I would never pay for carpool, like to get into the carpool lane, but now you have to pay like $2 or something to get into that carpool lane. Do you feel like that might be the problem?
Well, see, they put it up there to help alleviate the problem and encourage people to get to carpool instead of driving one at a time. So what should happen is you're supposed to load up with a bunch of passengers to make the trip rather than going by yourself. And so you have one car instead of 4. That's theoretically how it's supposed to work. That's why they made diamond lanes. But like on the 110, that's a recent invention. They started building that in the the 90s and the 80s and the 90s, and that was supposed to help solve the problem by having this double decker, but it's so short, and the carpool lane it's just not it's just not effective. There are too many cars. Like one of the problems that's going to happen in Leimert Park in South LA, the Crenshaw district, is they're building this rail line, but they're going to build these super developments.
Isn't it underground?
Well, that's underground and surface. And people wanted it underground, but I guess the ground's not stable. It's more expensive. And for some foolish reason, it's not for some foolish reason, for reasons of economic development and or real estate development, they put the Leimert Park station just 3 blocks from the Martin Luther King station. So now they're going to build these giant structures, which is going to put an incredible amount of more traffic down Crenshaw.
That's what I was going to say.
Go ahead.
I feel like they should really invest a lot into like underground, because all of these railroads built into like the streets and everything, they cause even more traffic. Like I start seeing these train tracks like in the middle of the street, and we have to wait for those trains to pass, and even more cars come, and then like sometimes there's these big trains that take like 5 minutes for it to clear. And I just feel like that's just gonna cause even more traffic.
Yeah, well, it will. And like the blue line, when they built the blue line in but especially the blue line, there are more car crashes. I mean, the blue line is a killer. It seemed like, and even the Metro Link, cars, they're trying to beat the train, they're trying to beat the gate, and they wind up dying and killing their entire families. But because it causes congestion. People commit suicide in front of the trains. Yeah, all that it is a problem. But for the most part, even though it's above ground, the blue line, you see all the people on the blue line crowded, always crowded. Red line, always crowded, because people want to get from place to place. The bus is slow. If you don't have a car or you can't afford the gas, then the red line, the blue line, and now the purple line to Santa Monica is a way to go. So like the Expo line finally got to Santa Monica, but it's been really late, and so it's always crowded too, for the most part. But that's just one way. It has to be comprehensive. There's not going to be one solution to traffic congestion in California, in Los Angeles. Like I was just a kid when they built the 10 freeway. I remember it being a big ditch. And now it's the 4th busiest freeway in the world, or if not the United States, the world. Or if not the world, the United States. Okay, any questions on chapter 1, chapter 2? Y'all ready? Y'all gonna be ready?
What we need to know for the quiz tomorrow? Give us some advice.
Advice?
Yeah.
Read the assignment.
I knew it.
Read chapter 1, read chapter 2. Check out those flashcards, check out those terms, those concepts, make notes, talk amongst yourselves.
I was just about to ask that. Can we pair up?
You can pair up, but don't see it. It's like so easy to cheat. But pair up, talk about, you can talk about the answer. There's no way to prevent that. But use your own judgment, because I'm saying, like everybody say, okay, there's one answer, and you don't know if the answer is true or is right or not. You'll be putting down wrong answers, and you'll be amazed. I mean, Erica knows. I mean, we get test scores where people get 8%, like 15%. That's not good. So you have to use your own judgment. And, of course, the purpose of the class is for you to learn the subject matter. So that's the advice I have. Study together. especially if you don't have a book, y'all get together, get a book, and even if you're studying and taking a quiz together, come up with your own independent judgment on whether the question is right or wrong. Because if you all go down in flames, you'd be like, damn, I should have studied. So, and take advantage, especially like one of the things that helped me, and everybody's different, but the flashcards, copy it down, get a bunch of index cards and write them with your hand and a pen. It helps learning. It's proven to help learning and memorization. Write the term on one side and the explanation on the other. And I'm sorry my face is so big, but I'm trying to talk into the microphone.
What time will the quiz open up tomorrow?
Noon.
Okay.
When does it close?
Tuesday.
Tuesday at noon.
Noon. Right.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday at noon?
Tuesday at noon. You got all the time in the world. Don't wait till the last minute.
They're gonna be there.
Huh?
How many questions?
I know. How many questions?
Oh, about 150. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, over there.
Don't play us like
Man.
Oh.
Now, normally, up to
Everybody eyes got big.
this point, I've been doing 30, but because I had these online courses and I want to normalize everything, pretty much everybody gets everything. The prior instructor, I think she put up 60 per class, 50 or 60 per class. Anyway, I don't think it'll be over 50 per class. I mean, per quiz.
So it's gonna be both terms and chapter 1 and chapter 2, correct?
Well, the terms of chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Okay, so it's just terms.
No, but you said terms and chapter 1 and chapter 2. No, it's chapter 1 and chapter 2. The terms are included in chapter 1 because I'm not giving terms for the entire semester. Giving terms from chapter 1 and chapter 2, plus everything else.
Okay.
But so if you do the assignment, if you do the reading assignment, and there's all this supplemental material, you won't have a problem.
Would it give us the grade as soon as we do it?
You know what? Because I'm new to Canvas, I don't know. Moodle, it will give you your grade as soon as the quiz closes. So, well, no, you would get your score, but you couldn't see the answers. But yes, you should get your grade immediately. So, like if you do rotten the first time, you get 45 points. Then you should know you need to pay more attention.
All right.
So I should, I'll have it up by noon, and we'll see. Okay. Remember, you got 2 shots. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions, criticisms, suggestions?
He's a fool.
All right. Then I'll see you next week. Hopefully my trial will be over. Like I said, the jury's out. Bree, I love you.
Hey.
All right, then, Professor Neil.
But
All right.
All right.
See.
How do we get out?
Press leave meeting, fool.
Yeah, leave me.
Right there, leave reading and
Make
all
sure-
the red.
Make sure to sign in. Make sure to leave a message in the inbox saying that you attended this.
Bye, class.
All right.
Bye.
Good luck on your trial.
Bye. Yeah, thank you.
Who said Fortnite?
I love you all.
I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. Everybody laughing now. Okay.
For real, everybody's unmuted.
I know. Crazy.
All right. Good luck on your trial,
Good luck
Professor.
on the top, Professor.
Appreciate
Good
that.
luck on your trial.
See you Tuesday.
Yes.
Hopefully you win.
You're on Tuesday.
Yeah, and the families nearby, they can hear you.
Okay.
I got it.
Sure, they appreciate that.
Bye.
Thank you.
They said thank you.
No problem.
So, hopefully everything turns out good. We're rooting.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
How do I end them?
Leave meeting.
You guys hanging out after class? Okay. Well, I'm going to end the meeting now and see you all later.